2009, the V8 Ute title was the most hotly contested since the category's inception. Today, we celebrate a decade of V8 Ute mayhem. To help mark this momentous occasion, we've brought along a few legends to help liven up the party. This will be a birthday bash like no other. And knowing the Ute boys, it should take less than 10 seconds for sparks to fly. Well, there's no better place to start a brand new year in the Yokohama V8 Ute Series than here on the streets of Adelaide at the Clipsal 500. Now, this weekend, we've really mixed things up for you with a unique racing format. Two-time Ute champ Damien White's along with me. I think we're going to have some fun here.
No, it's going to be great fun. You and me in the commentary booth, co-driving together. These guys out here, absolute mayhem in a standard Ute race. You throw the likes of Paul, the Dude Morris in there, and you know we're going to expect some mayhem.
Surely, though, being a two-time Ute champion, it's got to hurt you not to be out there having a go.
Mate, why don't you rub it in? I mean, you should focus more on the fact I'm co-driving with you, and that's a good thing for me. But I'd love to be out there. The V8 Utes are always exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
We've doubled the field this weekend on the streets of Adelaide with a totally unique race format. Bryony Ingerson checks in with some of the legend drivers.
What happens when we let 32 V8 Ute drivers loose on the streets of Adelaide? Well, now we're about to double it. Both the regular series driver and their co-driver will compete in the final 12-lap race. But to start the weekend, the co-drivers will have their own race. It's been dubbed the Legends Race, and it reads like a who's who from both the motor racing fraternity as well as the sport and entertainment industries. He's best known for his memorable gold win at the 2002 Winter Olympics. But can Stephen Bradbury fend off his opponents and be the last man standing on the racetrack?
Yeah, well, that's going to be part of my strategy here at Clipsal. I've never raced here on this track, and it is very intimidating for an inexperienced driver. But, you know, there's bound to be a bit of carnage out there. There always is in the Ute category, and hopefully I can pick up a few positions through that.
Australian stunt rider Robbie Madison holds the world record for the longest motorbike jump, and his daredevil ways appear to be following through into his V8 Ute driving style.
In my first practice, I actually went out there and kissed the wall in turn 8, which is the most high-speed part of the track, and I was really looking to find my boundaries, and I found it on the red fence. I think, you know, as the weekend progresses, I'll definitely get faster and faster, and hopefully get some of these faster legends in the wall.
The list of motoring legends includes two-time Bathurst winner Tony Longhurst, rally specialist Rick Bates, and touring car veteran Andrew Madecki. While representing the V8 supercar fraternity are Paul Morris, Steve Owen, Luke Youlden, as well as lone female entrant Leanne Tander, and the recently retired Cameron McConville, who's still adapting to his new apparatus.
They really are fingertips. You've got to brake so gently because they lock tyres more easy than a V8 supercar or anything actually I've ever driven, and they're obviously quite taily as well, so trying to stop at each corner like I'm not spilling the coffee out of the cup holder, because if you're too hard on the brakes it's a bushfire off the front tyres.
Green means go, so 2010 is underway. We're on the warm-up lap for the first race of the weekend, and this race, Damien, sees all of the legends behind the wheel, although Paul Morris is having a legendary problem.
He wants to give all the boys to have a look at the track first, and let's do exactly that. Turn 1 and 2, big crashes there in the past. Turn 4 is a good passing opportunity. Through 7, the exit speed is important for the important turn 8, which has changed. The inside curb has been changed to make the corner a bit slower, and the hairpin, always big lockups at turn 14 onto the start-finish straight.
3.2 kilometres, 14 corners, 32 Utes, and, well, that's going to be a whole heap of fun. George Madecki starts on pole alongside Chris Pither. Now, George was in the series just the last couple of years. He's off in the United States racing. How did he get to be a legend?
Well, he left his mark here before he left to go overseas, but look, great legends through there. The name Brock, Tony Longhurst on grid 16, all the way through. A young Kovacs. 10 years ago, I raced hard against his father. Now the son's on board.
Robbie Madison starting 22nd. He'll share with Brad Patton. Great to have Rod Wilson here, the inaugural champion back in 2001. Rod Barrett, the FPV GM, is driving with David Cedars this weekend. And Stephen Bradbury, can he skate his way through from 31st on the grid? Race 1 on the streets of Adelaide. George Maniki to the left. Chris Pither, the Kiwi kid, back in the series on the right. It's a full field. The grandstands are packed. And 2010 is underway. Luke Yulden is in the blue Commodore on the second row of the grid. And Steve Owen is driving Kim Jane's Commodore.
And when you look at those names, Madeki and Pither, great history in V8 youth, but then Yulden, Owen, Zakanovic and McConville, this will be a cracker.
And what about Paul Morris, the Samboy Commodore, sharing with Scott Jennings. Maniki leads down at turn 4. Got to say, everyone's well behaved. What's going on? Are they still in off-season slumber?
Well, these aren't the regular Ute guys. These are the legends. So they may take a few corners to get into it.
And the fact is, none of these drivers own these cars. They're treating them with great respect.
Insert evil laughter here.
There are 7 laps to go at the end of this one, though. Everyone well behaved on this first run to the turn 8 sweep. But this is one of the best corners in Aussie motor racing. Check this out. And then the run. Look at this, a lock-up already at turn 9. This is probably the best passing move on the track.
And you see there in the Samboy Commodore, Paul Morris. He at the start was the first car to move to the right. No surprises there that Paul Morris looks keen to play.
George Maniki, the leader, sharing with Jeremy Gray this weekend. George has moved to the US where he's become a development driver for the JTG Doherty team. Now that's Marcus Ambrose's NASCAR team, and George is looking to do some late model racing this year, but couldn't help but come back home for this one. And speaking of Maniki's, his dad Andrew has got a ringside seat here in the championship winning car, sharing with Jack Elsgood, and he's just copped a ding. What's going on here? Mel Rose and Andrew Maniki getting stuck into it.
I think Mal Rose is a bit filthy that Marcus Zakanovic, who bombed it in there nice and late, made contact. Mal then's copped it from Madeki. Mal Rose, welcome to V8 Ute racing.
Great to have Andrew back behind the wheel. Has stepped away in the last couple of years while young George has been developing his career. That's Rick Bates in the Jesus Racing Falcon of Andrew Fisher.
Woo-hoo! Sideways on the exit, lock up on the way in. That's an unusual place to try to pass. Very lucky that Melrose showed great car control, feeling the pressure. Man, it's happening.
Rick Bates lunging straight through. Oh, Tim Shaw.
And facing the wrong way, in a guard. Smoke him up, brother. The fans love it. Listen to them cheer.
That's Reece McNally's car, the younger brother of former Rookie of the Year Glenn McNally's taking over the car for the year. Bit of smoke there in the background. That's Cam McConville in Gary Baxter's Commodore. We'll keep an eye on what's going on there. Steve Owen hung out to dry here.
I don't think he's going to give it up. He'll have the inside hit. Oh, that reminded me years ago of the pressure of V8 Ute racing. You have to love it. That move reminded me of Courtney and Lowndes years ago in the supercars. We've seen how that can end in tears.
And they both ended up in the fence. Today, everyone ended up staying on the racetrack.
There again, a big break-up lap by Paul Morris. The inside front tyre has absolutely been hammered, understeered off the track. Zakanovic and Morris now side by side.
Plenty of action in this first race. Still that smoke continues. Oh, more than smoke, we've got a barbecue under the engine bay of Cam McConville's Sage Automotion Commodore. And that's terminal. He needs to get out of it right now.
The team no doubt will be on the radio. It's quite ironic that Cameron McConville was talking about barbecuing the front tyres pre-race. Well, that's more than barbecuing the tyres, isn't it, Aaron?
I think he's got a bit more of a drama. He pulls out on the exit of turn 3. Here's the Yokohama replay. And, yeah.
Spectacular. Unfortunate, but very spectacular.
One way to guarantee getting a run. But unfortunately, they've got some work to do. Back up front, here's Steve Owen, who's trucking along pretty nicely in Kim Jane's Commodore.
And trucking along nicely in the Fujitsu Series in the Greg Murphy Racing Commodore. So plenty of laps this weekend for Steve Owen.
And he's up to second. Here's a move. Actually, when's there not a move going on at turn 9? Everyone is in on the action. Back with Rick Bates.